Yeah, that's right. So well, it's really about the way that we set the algorithm up, right? So what we do is we can set up certain limits that we don't want to go past. So a good example was when I was evolving UAV controllers. So we had a UAV that was flying around, and if it was accelerating too fast, we just stopped it. We don't want it to accelerate like that. So we can put strict controls in as to the behaviors that we get out of these robots in this case.
So it's evolution within certain constraints which you dictate.
Exactly. So and that's a really good point. It's critical to set these parameters properly, otherwise the process doesn't work. So, you know, the number of things in the population, how often we mutate, how often we cross over, these tend to be things that a skilled algorithmic designer will know about and put into the algorithms, right? And also how long we evolve for, when do we know that the evolution is finished? You know, is it reaching a certain fitness level, or is it just the number of generations, the amount of computing power we put into the algorithm before we stop it? Well, at the moment, there's actually been a lot of really good work in using evolution to design neural networks that then perform deep learning. It's something called network architecture search. And it's really a good example because what it's saying is, here's a problem where a human does not have a good intuition of a good answer. And if you ask people who do deep learning, they will tell you that it's a lot of guesswork, you know, and typically you get good results by just putting more and more complexity into the network, more layers into the network, right? But what network architecture search does is it encodes a network as a genome, right? And then you can vary the layers, what each of the layers does, etc., and you end up creating something that's good at learning. The network itself is good at learning. For myself, being in a group that does field robotics, where we're trying to take robots and use them to solve real problems outdoors in these nasty and structured Australian environments, you know, it's really about taking that analogy, that link to natural evolution. You know, natural evolution creates life that survives in a huge variety of really challenging environmental conditions, and what we're trying to do is distill the things that allow that to work successfully and apply them to designing robots. You know, when we design a robot, we might have a good guess of how to make a robot work, but we're not really considering the whole possibility. You know, if we consider a space of possible robot designs, what we tend to do is pick one and then iterate on it. But there could be really good creative solutions when we consider the whole possibility of robot designs. And that's what we're trying to do, is solve these tricky problems by using bio-inspiration, natural inspiration, and this kind of Darwinian metaphor.